Hello, football fans, and welcome back to another video where I talk about the NFL. And I'm going to be talking about a question that has been debated for the past week ever since the Super Bowl happened last Sunday. And that question is Tom Brady the GOAT, which stands for the greatest of all time, in case you don't know what that means. So, I am going to give reasons to what my opinion is and just give my outright opinion on if he is or isn't and whatever else. Before I get into the video today, feel free to leave your opinion down in the comments below. But might I ask you that you please present your argument so that people might counter argument or make a counter argument against yours instead of just saying yes or no. Because I would love to know why you say yes or no. Because I'm going to give my opinion and then reasons to what I'm going to give reasons to why I think he is or isn't the greatest of all time. Now, Super Bowl 51 allowed Tom Brady to win his fifth Super Bowl, which is the most by a quarterback, and his fourth MVP award, which is also the most by a quarterback, surpassing Joe Montana for MVPs and Joe Montana and Terry Bradshaw for 4 Super Bowls won. Okay. And drumroll please for the moment that I say if he is or not. I say no, he is not the greatest of all time, but he is the greatest quarterback of all time. And the reason, just a few reasons why I say he is the best quarterback of all time is because of the fact that he has been able to still play at a high level throughout his entire career. And Joe Montana started to get frail in the late 80s and early 90s. And eventually he lost his starting job to another future Hall of Famer, Steve Young. And he, in my opinion, didn't perform as well in Kansas City as he did in San Francisco. So Joe Montana just kind of tailed off to the end of his career. And the 49ers in the 80s, whenever Joe Montana won 4 Super Bowls, did not really have free agency, and thus they were allowed to keep a lot of the players that they had around without the fear of going over the cap like the Patriots have. And also, Tom Brady has won Super Bowls with quite a few different receivers, and hey, he's been to the Super Bowl with a lot of receivers throughout his 7 trips. I mean, heck, he's even been to the Super Bowl with Randy Moss and Troy Brown and just a whole lot of other targets like Wes Welker and I'm talking about like past receivers that are no longer on the team. Before you wonder where I'm pulling the names from and why I'm not saying Edelman and Amendola and Hogan and all the weapons they have now. And and plus the Patriots offensive line and running game hasn't been the best. It's either the Patriots offensive line is good and their running game is not so good, or the running game is good and the O-line is not so good. Like this year, the running game was good, but the offensive line was not very good. Or or it wasn't as good as it was in years past and Super Bowls past for Tom Brady. And it was on display for the first quarter and a half during Sunday's Super Bowl game, as the Falcons were able to get constant pressure on Tom Brady. And plus, Tom Brady engineered the biggest Super Bowl comeback, 25 points. Just a couple of years ago against the Seattle Seahawks in the fourth quarter, he scored 2 touchdowns in order to help the Patriots win that one, uh, to tie the biggest margin of deficit overcome at that given point. But yes, people are gonna say, well, it's hard to compare the two different scenarios and the two different time frames. I look at it, if the Patriots were able to keep all the good players that they let go because of free agency, are well, on the defensive side around for longer, then they might have been able to win more Super Bowls. And yes, I know Joe Montana won Super Bowls with two different head coaches, but I mean, I mean, Peyton Manning went to four different Super Bowls with four different head coaches and won won three Super Bowls with three different head coaches. So I don't entirely get the head coaching argument there. Not that Peyton's not good or anything, it's just that he's had too many one and dones in the playoffs for me to consider. And in terms of what Tom Brady needs to do in order for me to classify him as the GOAT just overall, yeah, which he is right there on the cusp of beating Jerry Rice in my mind. Because Jerry Rice was able to do the same things consistently into his 40s, I believe. Now, Jerry Rice was still going to Pro Bowls and all that stuff late into his career, just like Tom Brady is. It's just that after Steve Young got injured for the 49ers, Jerry Rice just didn't really have good quarterbacks. And, Jeff Garcia and Matt Hasselbeck and Rich Gannon were his quarterbacks after Steve Young and Joe Montana. Which he did go to a Super Bowl with the Raiders in 2002 with uh, Rich Gannon under center. But so, yeah, Jerry Rice was able to continue to play at a high level throughout his entire career as well. And, you know, and personally, for Tom Brady to get the nod as the greatest of all time for any position in my mind, he does not have to win another Super Bowl. He would just have to continue to play at a high level for another year or two, no matter if he continues to win Super Bowls or not. He cannot win another Super Bowl, or Or, well, Tom Brady does not have to win another Super Bowl for me to consider him the greatest of all time. Tom Brady is going to turn 40 in uh, on August 3rd. And I'm curious to see how well Tom Brady plays into his 40s. Once he plays well into his 40s, then I will consider him the greatest of all time, no matter what position. But yes, Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback in my mind, basically because Tom Brady has been able to do it with a whole lot of different receivers. I think more than Joe Montana, and at least do it more consistently over a greater period of time than Joe Montana. Plus, Joe Montana did not even engineer a 10-point Super Bowl comeback, much less a 25-point Super Bowl comeback. And yes, I know people are going to say that the Patriots defense really helped out the offense, yada yada yada, but without Tom Brady there, I don't think the Patriots would have won that. So yes, guys, I do believe that will do it for this football nerd video, and I hoped, and now you have my opinion on if Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback or just greatest of all time, just overall in the history of the NFL. So yes, guys, that'll do it for this Football Nerd video, and till the next Football Nerd video, I will see you all later. Goodbye, guys. Thank you all for watching. Now I've answered the week-old question, and the question that has been asked for the greater part of a decade. And as always, go Panthers!